First of all, I'd like to thank the residents that did come out this evening. It's a strange thing, but sometimes when nobody shows up, you always assume that everybody's happy with what's going on, so you don't have to worry. But I like to think that there's a lot of questions out there. So this evening, thank you to all the taxing bodies that came out this evening. We have great representation from everyone, and this was an opportunity from 7 o'clock until now was an opportunity for you to go to some of these taxing bodies, ask any questions you want, learn a little bit about them. So that's what the format is. And now I'm going to do a little State of the City presentation. I'm Mayor Weaver, Kathleen Weaver, with the City of Darien. And after I've done making a few remarks, we'll do a question and answer period, and I'm going to invite representatives from all the taxing bodies to come up and join me up here so that if anyone in the audience has questions, you can ask any one of these the representatives of the taxing bodies. But it's important that we start with the state of the city. We're all members of the City of Darien, and I like to focus on how the services that we provide in our city of government and how transparent it is. I don't know if many of you have had an opportunity to reach out to the city and contact us for any issue, good or bad. And I hope that you realize and see how transparent we are, how important it is to us to provide the best customer service we can to our residents. And we really pride ourselves on being responsive to the city, to our Darien residents. We feel we're a very frugal city. We manage our money very well, as opposed to some other taxing bodies in this state of Illinois. But we'll talk about that later. But I want to focus or talk a little bit about what's going on right now in the City of Darien as far as development is concerned. I'm sure you've all noticed what we call Darien Point Plaza now, the street, the 75th and Cass and Plainfield. I bet many of you can close your eyes and picture what used to be there. And it's not a pretty picture when you envision what it used to be. But the plaza that we have today, the Darien Point Plaza, has been 13 years in the making. It started out with a vision by a citizens committee in 2002 and identifying the 75th Cass Plainfield as the center of our city and identify it as a business district, especially because it was in such sad shape. There was 2 gas stations on each corner and a very dilapidated strip mall in between. So what we have today are 2 new buildings, approximately each one is about 14,000 square feet. And we also, as part of the plan that we put together, we have a beautiful clock tower and a fountain to identify, give an identity to that corner. And we are still doing some more development and improvements along there. Coming soon, I forgot the date, but we will be seeing ornamental lighting going in along 75th Cass Plainfield, that whole area, that whole corridor. If you drive by the Chase Bank right now, you will see a sample of the ornamental lighting that will be covering the whole area. And it's going to be contributing to and adding another look to identify our center city. And of course, we got rid of the what we fondly called the no-name gas station on the other corner at Plainfield and Cass Avenue. And we are waiting for that to be developed also. So, as I said, it was 13 years in the making. We started out with a plan from our citizen group to make that a business district, and then we went about the process of putting together the plan for what we wanted to develop there. First of all, we knew that a developer there was no possibility that a developer could come in and purchase all those properties, assemble them as one development, because each one of those properties had such unique issues. Every one of them had an environmental issue. 2 gas stations, you know that there was environmental issues on that. So that was going to take a long time to clean those properties up. And the strip mall in between, the owner of that property had no desire whatsoever to improve his property. So we knew that we had to be the ones that stepped in and assembled those 3 properties, and that's what we did. We started to buy those properties back in 2006. Actually, there was a developer that had bought the Shell gas station property. He wanted to put an L-shaped strip mall on that property. And at that time, the council said, no, that's not what we want. We want to have something a little bit more uniform for the whole east side of Cass Avenue. So we purchased that property from him in 2006. And then we went on to buy the Heritage Center in 2007. And then finally, we bought the BP gas station property in 2008. And would you believe until at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, we just got the approval from the EPA on that property. So that's how long it took for those properties to even be ready to be developed. So that gives you a glimpse of what it took for us to get to the point that we have that development today. And of course, we asked the developer when he purchased it from the city of Darien, we wanted him to build the 2 buildings right away. We didn't, most developers want to wait till they have some leases in there, but we asked him to build the building right away, and that's why it's sitting there, and you may not see much development there, but we have a broker that's working on that property right now, and there's a lot of interest in that, so we're very anxious and excited to be looking at some businesses coming into that development very, very shortly. Other developments in Darien, if you live on the western section of Darien, you might notice a new development along Manning Road called Rolling Knolls. The land was just cleared of the trees that were on that property, so for some residents it's been a shock to see that property cleared out, but now we're going to have 26 single-family homes being built there, and the McNaughton Builders is the builder that's building the homes there, a very, very well respected developer, and the houses are they plan to sell them for the $400,000 to $500,000 category. So this is a very high-end development that's coming into Darien. We also the city council just approved a hotel on the North Frontage Road called Wood Springs Suites. It's going to be a 4-story hotel with 125 units. It's looking to attract the businesses that come to stay at Argonne National Lab, that come in to work at Argonne National Lab, and that kind of clientele will be coming in to stay at that hotel. Also, in the works right now, the parcel that is just west of Eisenhower Junior High School, the vacant lot that's between the bank, the Republic Bank, and Eisenhower Junior High School. We have a kiddie academy looking at that right now. They're coming forward with plans to put in a daycare center there. So those are some of the capital project developments that are going on right now. As always, you've seen our streets and our sidewalks and a lot of work being done during the summer. This is the time of the year when we do all of our capital projects. We resurface 6 miles, improve 6 miles of roadway every year. No getting away from that plan. That is very important that we take care of our infrastructure. You don't take care of your infrastructure, your city goes down in quality. And so that's why we focus on keeping our roads, our sidewalks, and our stormwater systems in great shape. Also, you've noticed, or you've heard a lot about the emerald ash borer and the effect that's had on ash trees in the city of Darien. Many municipalities chose to take down every one of their ash trees in their municipalities at an enormous cost. Our city council chose to go a different route. We chose to treat the ash trees in the city of Darien. But first we did we checked out all the ash trees in town to see if they were healthy enough to even keep up, and those that weren't we took down. And in 2013 we started to inject the ash trees in order to save those and get rid of the emerald ash borer that might affect them in the future. So we started that cycle of injecting and we had over 2,600 trees, ash trees in the city of Darien, and about 366 of those trees had to be removed immediately, and then the rest were treated. And we still have all of our ash trees on a watch list, so that and they're even tagged. I forget the colors of the stripes that we have on the trees, but each stripe, each color of the stripe means a different thing. So if they're not healthy, we will be taking them down. Did we do an injection this year? We have, yes, we have done it. It's a 6-year cycle. Every 2 years we do the injection. So we started in 2013. This year we were doing the injections, or have done the injections, and then of course in 2 years we'll do it with the final. And as I said, all those trees will be on the watch list to see if additional trees have to come down. It was a great savings for us to do this, as opposed to taking down every ash tree in the city of Darien. So we feel it was the best route to go. So that's what we did with with those. And of course, we focus on making sure all of the equipment that we use to service the residents of Darien is in great shape, and that's always part of our budget too. Our budget and everything we spend is online. You can go to our website at any time to see what we do, and even send us emails and ask us questions, whatever you want to know. We are ready here to answer any questions you have. Our police department. I happen to think our police department is A1. We have we had a dark day a couple of weeks ago in the city of Darien. We had a hate crime happen, but we've addressed it. The state's attorney has agreed with us. He had described it as a hate crime, and so we're moving on. And we're talking about the fact that we have no tolerance in the city of Darien for that kind of behavior, and we'll always make sure we stay focused on not being tolerant of any kind of intolerance. If you go onto our website, you will find Police Chief Brown's monthly report. And if you read them, you will find a great deal of information in there as to the statistics of what our police department is doing now, down to all the different categories of types of crimes that are happening, how often our police officers are responding to 911 calls, a great deal of information. Also, the chief apprises everyone of all the scams that are going on. Just when you think you heard the worst scam going, we hear another one. It's just amazing. And most of the victims are senior citizens. So Chief Brown, in his monthly report, identifies the latest scams and goes over the scams that have been going on, so everyone knows about them. And if you have any doubt about a phone call you're getting, end that phone call, call the police and find out. Police department, you can even ask for Chief Brown, and he will let you know, is it a good call, bad call, whatever. We also introduced this year an ordinance, a crime-free housing ordinance, and this is geared towards our multifamily buildings and the managers and owners of those buildings. We bring those, we've caused them to come in to get involved in seminars to learn how to screen the renters that come into their facilities, and how to get rid of renters that they need to get rid of should they have problems. And this is an ongoing seminar. One of our police officers is leading the seminars. And this is mandatory for the managers of these buildings to attend these seminars to learn exactly how to screen and take care of their buildings. Our police department wants to be a helper to these businesses, these multifamily businesses. So there's no doubt in their mind that should any problem arise, they can come to us and ask for our assistance. Of course, our police department is focused on catching the bad guys. We had some incidents last year that were disappointing, but we addressed them. We had a rash of burglaries in the western portion of the city, and it took a few months, and a task force, the chief was involved in putting a task force of many municipalities together to work on this case. And Chief, what month? We cracked the case. They found the guys. It was a national gang that was actually, that had invaded Darien and burglarized, what, 7 homes?
Yes.
Yes. So some of the victims, I think, have gotten their products, their items back.
They've all looked at some of the items we recovered. There's an international warrant on one subject, and another subject has been taken into custody and extradited.
Okay, what the chief just said is that there's a warrant out for an individual. Some of the gang members have left the country, which is quite a surprise. Isn't a surprise, but then we had a rash of burglaries to motor vehicles, and that was in the area west of Cass Avenue up to Fairview, in the not Hinswood, Hinsbrook, not one of the Hinsbrook areas. What's that subdivision called? Farmingdale, my goodness, escaped me there. And it even filtered in over to on the south side of 75th. But they apprehended the individual who was doing those burglaries. And he is a resident that lives in unincorporated Downers Grove, I believe. And so we have to be vigilant. And our police department really focuses on community policing. And you hear that term all the time. What does it mean? It's not just the job of the police department, it's the community working together. We want you, the residents, to be watching, to be vigilant in your communities. If you see something suspicious, call the police. Don't even worry about, oh gee, maybe it's not. Just call the police so they can check it out to find out if it's truly a suspicious incident or not. So it's something that we all have to work together. It's not the police department's job, it's all of us together to work for keeping Darien safe. Keep your cars locked, keep your houses locked. If you go on vacation, let the police department know so they can do a house visit so that your house is safe while you're out of town. So these are the things our police department has provided. We have a task force because of Chief Brown. One of our police officers is now on a federal task force, and he has been doing a great job. In fact, all of anytime there's a drug bust, we get a share of the money that is brought in by the drug bust. And we are over $200,000 of funds that we received to our police department, which has allowed our police department to purchase other items to help us be safe in the city of Darien. So it's another great tool that we have. And so I think that is the most important things that we can say and what we need from you as far as policing, community policing. You are our partners, and we need you to be that partnership. The last thing is, of course, the state of Illinois. And I was talking to Jack Mancione, and boy, aren't we all having fun. I think the schools are in the same boat as we are, too. Our state legislature is playing, I don't know what we want to call it, double dare, but they're withholding a great deal of funds from a lot of taxing bodies while they don't get their act together. And we, the city of Darien, think we'll be fine for a while, but after a while, it's gonna start hurting a lot of taxing bodies. We were in a meeting last night with the other District 3 mayors. District 3 is made up of Downers Grove, Willowbrook, Westmont, Burridge, in the city of Darien, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. And we get together as a group to work together, to see what we can do to work together. And we had a representative from DuPage Mayors and Managers speak to us about what's going on in the state of Illinois, and it's not pretty. Shame on them for doing what they're doing and holding hostage all of the funds that we so valuably need here in our municipality. We're the good managers of our funds. They have to get their act together. So, in the meantime, we have to sit and watch what goes on. We have as I was talking about the police department, we have crime all around us. It's not we have crime that's coming from other areas into our area. So that's why we have to be very vigilant as to who comes in, and if you see something suspicious, make sure you let the police department know. At this time, I'd like to invite, I'd like to to start a question and answer period. I didn't want to take up the whole evening with me talking, but I'd like to invite a representative from all the taxing bodies to come up now. And we have seats just for you up here. And I would like to open it, the field to questions for anyone that, for any taxing body or myself, from anyone in the audience. I think what we were going to do, each one of you was going to do a presentation first. Is that correct? Nope? Okay. Skip that. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each one of these people, these individuals, to come up and introduce themselves so that you know which taxing body they represent, and then we'll take questions and give some answers here.
It's a very small mic you have.
I know.
I'm Chief Jack Mancioni from the Tri-State Fire Protection District.
Okay, next person.
My brother.
I'm the better looking brother. I'm Dave Lambright. I'm the fire chief from Darien Woodridge Fire District, the west side of Cass.
And I'm Jim Palatine. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees for Chief Lambright's district.
Thank you.
I am Sue Armato. I'm the school board president for District 66, Center Cass.
And I'm Mike Webster. I'm the school board president for Cass School District 63.
I'm Don Damon. I'm the vice president of the Board of Trustees of the Indian Prairie Public Library.
Thanks, Don. Very small.
And I'm Ray Jablonski, president of the Darien Park District Board of Commissioners.
Hi, I'm Janine Kiewit. I am president of Darien District 61.
Thanks.
I'm Kathy Abate, and I am one of the trustees for the Downers Grove Township.
I think we've covered everyone. So now I'd like to open it up to the audience. And excuse me, my pink bottle. If you watch our city council meetings, you always see my pink bottle sitting there. So, sorry about that. I didn't mean that to be there distracting. I'd like to open it up to any questions from the audience right now, for any one of the taxing bodies up here and myself. We have to have some brave. Rich, you told me you were going to ask questions.
I've already asked questions.
Okay.
For the Park District, have you found out what happened with that fire that was at the Turn Hills Park?
The question is to the fire protection, to the Park District, have you found out what happened with the fire at the park, at the community park?
The porta potty.
Okay. Ray, we need you. We have a cameraman here, so we need to.
I do not believe that we have any information yet. I know that the police department and the fire department have looked into it. Unfortunately, we've had a rash of incidents with the Park District, in addition to the porta potty and the structure around it burning down over at Community Park. We did have 2 acts of vandalism over at the new parking lot over at the community center. But, hopefully that's come to an end. Okay.
Thanks, Ray. Anyone else?
We're doing a great job.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, this is. I want to ask a question. You. No. The answer no. Okay. I'm going to ask the Darien Park District. You had vandalism for the lights by the ball field. When are those going to be on?
Well, the structure also damaged, obviously, the lights at the ball field. And after we got insurance involved, an adjuster had to come out. We had to get drawings built because in the city of Darien, if we want to build a structure, we have to have those. And got quotes and determined it'd be over $20,000. So then we bid out the project, and the quotes came in significantly higher. So now we're looking at a plan B because we're only going to get a small amount of money to fix that from insurance because it was an old structure. So as soon as we figure out what the plan is and how we can afford that, then we'll be able to fix it from that point. But we probably will have to go back out to bid.
I'm going to try, do you want to try to capsulize that? So we want to keep on everything on the record for our cameraman. Yes, why don't you capsulize what Stephanie just said?
After our insurance carrier came out and gave us, gave us an estimate on everything, and we put the project out to bid, cost of it was a little higher than we wanted it to, and we're putting it back out to bid again in hopes of not having to spend too much money on it. But we will be coming up with a Plan B shortly, and we will come up with something for the lights for next year, for the baseball season for next year.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you. Thank you. Brian?
Question for the mayor. Last night at our meeting, it generated a lot of interest, the discussion of drones. And I didn't know if maybe you want to comment for the residents that will be watching at home also.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on in that area now?
Yeah, I think the issue of drones came to the forefront in recent articles in the papers and on the news about a resident taking into his own hands, shooting down a drone that was hovering over his house, looking at his daughter. Yeah, so the issue we talked about last night was, and Mayor Frank Trilla of the village of Willowbrook is very concerned about that issue, and drones are supervised or whatever, controlled by the FAA. So that's a federal organization, and our city council discussed it for briefly, and we said, well, we're going to wait to see what transpires, what goes forward. And I said last night, well, we'll wait till we see what the state does, because whatever government does something over our heads will wipe out what we do locally. So we're not taking action right now. We're just going to watch how things go and develop a policy as the issue goes on. Yes, Tina.
This is a question for the chief or the mayor, whichever one wants to answer this. Safety is on our concern, everybody's minds, as you mentioned, and with the Willowbrook accident that happened so close to our community, we talked about a neighborhood crime watch, and from what I understand, there is one in place already in Darien, and it's been successful or it's been helpful. So if somebody can comment on that, how that's been working and how we can organize that.
Alderman Belke asked about brought up the incident that happened in the Willowbrook apartments along Plainfield Road, and neighborhood watch. Are you talking about talking about one of the neighborhood watches that exists right now? Those are neighborhood watches are organized by residents, by neighbors. And with the help of our police department, we can help you organize it. And I know that Jerry Legansky has been very instrumental in creating one for the Farmingdale area around Sawyer and Farmingdale Drive because of incidents that happened over in his neighborhood. So if you need help in putting together a neighborhood watch, reach out to our police department. They will help you and guide you through the process of organizing one. And I can speak for resident Jerry Legansky. What had started as a simple idea on his part, just talking to his neighbors about, let's get together and watch out for each other, has blossomed into a wonderful network that he's developed. They even have a garage sale, a community garage sale every summer, as an outcome of this neighborhood watch group. And they've even developed a house sitting plan, emails back and forth, so people are watching out for their neighbors' homes, dog sitting, dog walking. So it's an amazing process what can happen when you reach out to your neighbors to create a neighborhood watch. Yes?
Mayor, in addition to that, we have the video camera registry.
Good point.
It goes hand in hand with that. There's another program that's still a bit young, but hopefully that will grow.
We started, and Chief Brown started this when we had the rash of home burglaries back in at the end of 2014, and we asked residents that have cameras at their home, video cameras, surveillance cameras, watching and monitoring their homes to contact our police department and be on record as being a homeowner that has one of these cameras, because in the event of an incident in your neighborhood, it may come in very handy to be able to look at the videotape that you have on your camera to help us apprehend a criminal that might have been in your neighborhood. So if you have one of these cameras at your home, please call our police department and ask to be on the list of homes that have this. It may come in handy one day to help you. I didn't introduce, well, I can only introduce my city staff and our elected officials here that are here tonight. I would like to start out with, we have Treasurer Korn here. Right there, Clerk Joanne Ragona is with us this evening. I think we have most of the aldermen here this evening. Ted Schauer from Ward 1 is here. Tina Belke is the alderman for Ward 2. Joe Kenny, alderman for Ward 3. Our newest alderman is not here this evening. Tom Klistic is the alderman for Ward 4. Alderman Ward 5 is Joe Marquez. The orange shirt, you can't miss him. Ward 6, Alderman McIver is sitting in the back, and Ward 7, Tom Belzak is standing near the entrance. So those are, pardon me? Oh, okay.
Mayor Weaver, I get a lot of calls from residents who live in the Carriage Greens area of late regarding Carriage Greens, the golf course. And of late, there's been a rumor that there's possibly going to be a housing development on the front nine of the golf course. This may be a good time to dispel any of those rumors that are out there.
You brought that to our attention at our meeting the other night, and we've had a lot of rumors, going around, but that is, I'm going to learn how to where to put this thing. We have no knowledge of any development being proposed for the Carriage Green property. We would be the first ones to know about it if there was something being proposed, because it would have to go through our approval process. Also, we were fielding calls about Section 8 housing within the last couple of weeks, and that Section 8 housing was going to go on the North Frontage Road. Ted, what street was that? Nantucket. Okay, there's some property that's sitting there from the old. Do you remember the old wastewater treatment facility from DuPage County? Yeah, that's on the east side of Nantucket. But there's a lot of vacant area to the west, and we have no knowledge of any kind of development like that going in there. As a matter of fact, when it comes to that type of housing, it's run by the federal government, and we have no knowledge. We don't get a choice in that, and so we have no information. So if there were a house in Darien that was Section 8, we wouldn't even know about it. Yes.
Do we have any Section 8 housing?
I think one.
We don't know that for sure.
Well, I think as you just said, Mayor, that is nothing that the city gets information about. So if Rich is asking that, we wouldn't have knowledge of if there's rentals. You know, sometimes the federal government might have a whole complex that they build, but
I heard part of it was in Farmingdale, that they had certain, I want to say apartments, not condos, I wouldn't imagine.
No, those are not Section 8 housing there. No.
There is no Section 8 housing. As part of our prime free housing ordinance and our ongoing meetings with Farmingdale management, there are no Section 8.
Chief Brown just added that because of the crime-free housing ordinance and the seminars that we're conducting with the owners of those buildings, especially the ones in Farmingdale, we know for sure there is no Section 8 housing there. I'll ask the residents that are here, how are we doing as a city government? Are we responsive enough? Are we doing a good job?
Very good.
There's some other Darien residents here. I'd like to hear from you.
I've been here since before Darien started. And
Me too.
I'll tell you, the Park District, the Library District, and the city, I think we've done a good job. I'm so proud of going down to that little park. walking in the afternoon?
Darien Community Park? That's Jean Cragen? She just stood up to say how wonderful, how much she appreciates the park, the library, and the city's works.
Our fire department is very good too.
Oh, and then Mr. Rich Ray just identified the fire protection district is doing a very good job. Tri-state. Wait, well. And then he identified just tri-state. So.
It's because they helped you, Rich, right?
It's okay, I'm not thin-skinned. Well,
Yes.
If you talk about, if you talk about the Darien Woodridge district, they just got rated to a fire ISO 2 from an ISO 3, which would mean for you as a citizen that maybe your insurance, homeowners insurance, could go down.
No, not because I'm not in your district.
Oh, that's too bad. But the Darien Woodridge, if you're west of Cass, that's the chief did that.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you. That is an important detail.
It is.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Congratulations on your fiscal responsibility and being able to maintain this actually to where they are. This is my third time living in the Chicagoland area, and we just moved back from Georgia in October and picked Darien because of the tax rates. And as ridiculous as they are in other places, like we lived in Bolingbrook before that, Montgomery before that, and I lived all over the country, and the tax rates are crazy here, but you folks have managed to maintain them to a respectable level. And that was why we chose Darien to move to. And I've been thrilled with the responses and everything that we've done and any interaction that I've had with the city, so congratulations to you.
Well, wow. And I didn't plant that person in the audience. I really didn't. Thank you. What this gentleman said was that he's lived in many areas and found Darien to be very, very good for its taxes, its frugality, the management of the city. So thank you very much for those comments. I really appreciate that. I get to take all the credit here when actually it's our city staff that really does a great job. I forgot to introduce our city staff. Brian Vanna, that's the guy that keeps asking me questions over there. That's him over there. And next to him is Dan Gombeck, our municipal services director. And Chief Brown is in the audience, our police chief. I couldn't ask for a better staff and more responsive staff. And I think all of the aldermen who are in the audience also would agree to that. Yes, sir. Rich.
I have a comment. I drive through Burridge, Hinsdale, Western Springs, and Westchester on my way to work. And I've emailed about this before. Nobody does a better job of snow removal than Darien.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rich Brandes just noticed or wanted to comment. Pardon me? Did I see your name wrong again? No. Okay. Commented on the excellent snow plowing services at the city of Darien. We hear it all the time, but we can't get complacent because just because we hear it all the time. We have to keep up the good work.
Could you expand a little more on the property? You talked about the hotel on the north frontage road. You said there's a hotel. Yeah. When is that coming? And you said something about Argonne employees. Is it just for them, or is it extended, or is it?
It's Kathy Abadi just asked about the Wood Springs Suites Hotel that's going in on the north frontage road. It's more of an extended stay facility, but what it's going to probably attract and get as patrons of the place are people that are staying for extended periods of time in the area and probably with Argonne. It's but not limited to. No. We approved it about a month ago. So when are we expecting construction to start?
Just received the final plans today, so based on the reviews, we're probably looking at about 3 weeks out.
All right, so Dan Gombeck just said that the plans by Wood Springs Suites have been submitted to the city, and now we're expecting the approval process of those plans to be about 3 weeks, so construction wouldn't start before then.
Correct.
Where on North Frontage Road is?
Do you know, well, I hate to identify it this way, but do you know where Joni's Dry Dock is? Okay, it's just east of Joni's Dry Dock. Okay. Yes, sir.
The one I stayed at in Burridge, I had a fire in my house a year and a half ago.
Ooh.
And I stayed 10 days and the place was packed all the time, extended care. And a lot of people came from the city that were on construction jobs in the city, and they'd spent 2-3 months at this place. And then, the job would finish and they'd leave.
Yeah, out-of-town contractors here.
They would rather stay in Burridge and drive into the city than stay someplace in the city. Now, I don't know if it's cheaper or what their companies contracted out as far as roads are concerned, but
I would imagine it comes down to price, and the hotels in the city of Chicago are probably not geared to be extended stay hotels, so that's why they come out. And Burridge is right across the border from Cook County, so makes sense. I think moving to Darien is a great idea because our schools are excellent. I mean, we all know that, that we have, and it's crazy, but we have 3 school districts in the city of Darien. District 61, who is represented over here, District 63, which is represented down at the end, and District 66, which is up here. And 2 high schools. Somehow District 86 didn't get the message that tonight was the night. They are not here to represent themselves, unfortunately. Joe, you were just about to ask something.
Well, as the educator, I was going to compliment the school districts because we complimented the fire departments and the park district, and as a retired educator, I wanted to compliment the staffs of all 3 schools because good schools do much to ensure your property values and draw people into the area, bring younger people into the area because of the quality of the schools. And a lot of credit goes to all 3 school districts for having exemplary programs and providing the type of education we want our children to have.
Yes, Alderman Joe Marquez, very good, Joe. Just commented on the excellence of our schools and how important they are to the value of our community and the value of our homes. Are based a great deal upon the schools and the services that we have in our city. So thanks, Joe. Yeah.
What kind of businesses are you trying to attract to the town center there?
I want restaurants. We need restaurants. If you got any contacts in the restaurant business, we'd like that. I'd love to have an ice cream shop in the city of Darien. We'd like a coffee shop. There is a coffee shop interested, but we haven't got them to sign on the dotted line at this point. So we're as I said, and you can go on our website to take a look at the presentation that our broker has done for the Darien Plaza, Darien Point Plaza, and reach out to that individual. Randy Kutwicka is his name, and he's the broker for our development. So. He's the one that's fielding all the phone calls that we're getting on development. Right now, we have 1 permit in the pipeline. Dan, is that still viable?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we have one business permit in the pipeline. It's going through the approval process. Am I at liberty to say what the name of the? Okay, the name of the company is Organic Spa. Have you seen them? I believe they're already in the city of Darien. They're moving to the new location. Right now, they are located in one of the 2 office buildings directly east of McDonald's. Okay. The buildings are, as I said, there's 2 buildings. Each one is 14,000 square feet. And each building, on the north end of each building, we have a drive-through setup. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those. At least a coffee shop would fit perfectly into that area. What's that? Rich was saying, oh, gee, we're going to get to go home early.
Mayor, just one correction. I had given you that information, but they're combined at 14 on the 2 buildings.
I'm sorry. That information is incorrect. Both buildings combined are 14,000 square feet. Okay. Okay. Thank you to all the presenters here this evening. This video will be on our channel, our channel 6. And what other venue will it be on?
It'll be on our website.
Our website, so you can get, people can watch it again, or if someone was not able to attend, you can point them in the direction of the film, of the video. So, what businesses do you think we should have in our Darien Point Plaza? Pardon me? How'd you guess? Oh, yes. Well,
I wish I could tell you it will happen, but it won't.
we've already approached, yeah, we already thought about that one, yes, and we, pardon me? Yes. We were going out, as we said, the developer of the product hired a broker to develop, to market the buildings. But we were active in doing the same thing. We are going out and actually pursuing businesses that we want to have in Darien. I want a white tablecloth restaurant in Darien. Do you got any ideas?
Sports bar.
A sports bar. Jeff, come on. We got to do better than that. We got Chuck's, I'll tell you. Chuck's, I don't think they'd like it if we put another sports bar in town. Chuck's is doing great. You know, we talk about the city of Darien, and I personally have never wanted TIF districts, to do TIF districts in Darien, because it hurts, mostly it hurts the schools when you do TIF districts. But what we did do in order to entice businesses to come into Darien or to stay in Darien was to do special programs for example, Chuck's. When Chuck's decided to come into Darien, they looked at their parking lot. It was a shambles. It was in really bad shape, and they said, you know what, we can afford to to improve the inside of the building, but we can't do the outside improvements. So we worked out a deal with them that we would do that work, and it was it $125,000? Oh boy, I'm off. $275,000. We did the work to improve the parking lot and lighting in the Chuck's, and what the increased sales tax that he generates is what pays down that debt. And the deal is, if he doesn't, it's $80,000 a year. He has to generate in sales tax to offset what we put out to help him come into the city of Darien. And if it doesn't reach $80,000, then Chuck's pays us the difference. So that's how we used an incentive to bring in this business, and it's been a great business for the city of Darien. The Darien Town Center, people raised eyebrows, I guess, when we decided to do the deal to keep Walmart in town. But as far as we're concerned, it was the best thing we could have done, because if we had not done the deal with, it was a $4 million incentive that we did with them in sharing sales tax to pay down that debt. If we hadn't done that deal, that Walmart would be sitting on the Ziegfeld Troy property today. And you would still be going to Walmart, but it wouldn't have been in Darien. And that building that Walmart is in today would have sat vacant, because Walmart doesn't let somebody else come in to their territory. So that's why we did the deal we did. And if we raised eyebrows from some people, so be it. But we think it was a great deal. We know other towns. Villa Park spent a lot more money than $4 million to put that Walmart in at Route 83, on Route 83. So, yes.
Mayor, I think it's important to point out that even though it's $4 million, it's only the incremental sales tax that they get, so it is not costing us anything unless they do generate additional sales as a result of the expansion.
That's right. We worked out the deal that we from the outset, we knew that the current building, before they did the improvements, was bringing in $800,000 of sales tax to the city of Darien. So we used that as ground zero. that money still is coming to us. So the difference of the sales tax that comes in on the improved area is only the portion that we share with Walmart and the developer of that town center. So that's how that debt is paid down. Excuse me for on that deal. So that's the way we decided to do incentives instead of TIF districts. There's many ways we can do incentives to bring in businesses, and we're still in that mode that if we find a business that we really like and really want to come into Darien, we'll find a way to get that done. We've had numerous businesses tell us how great it is to work with the city of Darien, how easy it is, the process that they go through to get approved as opposed to other municipalities. So that was great news to hear that. So is there any other questions? I don't want to keep you any longer, but this is an opportunity for you to still stay around and visit with the other taxing bodies. I know that they took a lot of time to put together a presentation, so please stop by and meet them and ask them what they do with your tax dollars. Anything else? Okay, I thank you all for coming out, and please visit with everyone, and thank you for coming out. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. How'd you like this venue this time, this smaller venue? Good, okay, thank you.